Hey everyone, how's it going? I am iamxeracon here with a very exciting news, very hyper news. In case you couldn't tell, this is Metroid Fusion going on in the background. It's just the demo going on right now. I'm not actually playing the game. Let me actually adjust this chair so make sure I'm actually in the camera. I'm not sure. So yes, this is an actually new setup that I have going on right now, as far as everything going on. Got my camera right there. Got my mic here. Although actually, I'm going to have to decide if I want to use which sort of microphone setting I want to use. Sort of have two things going on right now. But yeah, I have been playing this because of the hyper excitement I have going on for Prime 4. Like I said, I was been playing Zero Mission and Other M because I never beat Other M. I actually stopped playing Other M because I stopped playing Other M because of the fact that I just stopped playing it. I made more progress within it, but I just stopped playing it, whatnot. But I wanted to get back into playing this wonderful game right here. I love it. It's awesome. And feels great, just like going back into it and playing Prime 1. This would have to be my favorite Prime in the trilogy. I'm very excited that Prime 4 is coming out soon. But to get to the topic at hand, Nintendo is currently making the Super NES Classic. As if you don't know about it, it was announced like earlier today. I think right about noon actually. Yeah, it was released about noonish. That was the announcement was made. Let me check just to make sure, but I don't think that other information has gone up regarding it. I have been watching all of the posts like a hawk. Yeah, like Nintendo hasn't said anything else. Nothing on GameStop. Amazon hasn't said anything. Yeah. So far, the only thing that we know as far as like pre-orders going up and stuff is that it's up in Amazon on the Amazon UK. It's up available there. But that's about it for right now. We know it's going to be $80. It has 21 games, which is less than the 30 on the NES Classic. But it's still sufficient. They have a pretty good roster of games on there, and the fact that these are pretty high quality games compared to what they had on the NES Classic. Now, don't get me wrong, this NES Classic is good, but I mean, you can definitely say it's good if you can actually find one of these things. It was not easy getting one of these things, believe me. But you know, I wasn't even initially interested in the NES Classic when it came out. I had heard about it, but I never grew up playing the original NES. I never played it. The Super Nintendo, yeah, I grew up on that one, so I felt attached to that. But you know, never played that. But then eventually later on, I decided to get one, but that was of course right when things were crazy with it. You know, actually getting one. So it definitely took me a while. Like I got mine in February. That's when I got it. But yeah. So also mentioning with the Super Nintendo Classic is the fact that you are getting two controllers instead of one with the first classic, the NES Classic. And also one of those games that are being released with the Super Nintendo Classic is the fact that it has Star Fox 2, which was never officially released to the public. There are ROMs out there, there are reproduction cartridges, but nothing official. So this is going to be a special treat for the people who haven't played it or heard of it or even seen it as far as the gameplay. Because I'm pretty sure 95% of the population don't know about Star Fox 2, or at least, have seen footage of it. So this will be a very big treat for them. It'll be a treat for me because I saw a cartridge of Star Fox 2 at a retro game store I was at one time, but I didn't purchase it. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that Star Fox 2 was like canceled, or that there were reproduction cartridges floating out there. But yeah, I mean, I sort of regret not getting it now. But now this will be a good chance to actually get one. I will definitely put in a pre-order for this one, as I love the Super Nintendo. In fact, Super Nintendo was the first console I ever played. Not that I owned, but I actually played. My cousins had a Super Nintendo, and I think this is partially why I became attached to Nintendo, was because of just playing the Super Nintendo. And then later on, I got the N64 for Christmas one year, and I enjoy playing this. And even though I enjoy this, I still remember the time I had with the Super Nintendo, and frankly speaking, the Super Nintendo was better than the N64. I don't play favorites, though. I don't play favorites. But this was better, though. So yeah, so I am definitely super enthusiastic about the Super NES Classic, and the fact that we're also getting Earthbound on there as well. That's a game that's hard to find. I mean, you'll have to spend at least $80 just to find a copy, even if it's used anywhere. You're definitely going to be putting in a good chunk of change there. And then let me see what the other games on there were. Let's see, we have Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. That's another good quality game that is pretty costly. F-Zero, Super Metroid, which is also a game that's going to cost you money. Like, I bought a copy of Super Metroid for I think $40. Found a copy. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Punch-Out, Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4, which also, again, is not a cheap game to find. Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X, another game that'll cost you at least $30, I think. Kirby Superstar, Final Fantasy 6, which was then Final Fantasy 3. Again, that also, is not going to be really cheap. Kirby's Crash Course, Star Fox 1, Yoshi's Island, I think that is. Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG, Contra 3, Secret of Mana, Earthbound, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and Star Fox 2. So these are pretty much great classic games and stuff. I know a lot of people were disappointed that Chrono Trigger wasn't going to be there. I think it would have been a good addition, but I'm not completely heartbroken, as I have a copy of Chrono Trigger already. But for those who never were able to experience it, this will definitely be something that they're missing out on as far as those classic RPG games. It's good that we are getting 6 on there. Now, I started playing 6 recently. I bought it and I'm starting to play through it. I have to keep playing. So far, it isn't really doing too much for me. I feel like it will be getting better later on, but I just feel as it's starting right now. It's not what I was sort of expecting, even though I know about 6, I know the story of 6, and stuff, but so far as of right now, it's not really doing a whole lot for me. in regards to that. Hope that, you know, it gets better for me later on. But as far as now, I still feel as though Final Fantasy IV holds its place as my personal favorite FF game. Although I started playing 9, and that one is definitely also that one I definitely would say is competing with 4 right now for my favorite FF, because 9 feels so in tune with what a Final Fantasy game is. I mean, I'm not describing like anything past 6, but you know, as far as that pure fantasy feeling goes, 9 is just like really going back to its roots as far as the fantasy in Final Fantasy. Um, but yeah, Secret of Mana will definitely be good, especially for people who haven't, or at least for people who won't be able to get the Seiken Densetsu collection, which is the Secret of Mana collection for the Switch. I'm going to try to import a copy later on, but yeah. Also, the SNES Classic is supposed to have more. They're supposed to be making more copies of the SNES Classic, but at the same time, don't expect it to be completely abundant. It's supposed to have more than the NES Classic, but you know, so far Nintendo's only said that they're going to be running stock through the end of 2017, because you know they've got to focus on the Switch and the 3DS, and you know I can understand where they're coming from regarding that, but at the same time, you know, it's really going to be difficult. Especially the biggest problem is, I don't think as far as getting one. I think the biggest problem, well, getting one, yes, as far as the SNES Classic goes. The biggest problem are the scalpers. If we didn't have scalper problems, then I don't think getting one of these would be that big of an issue. I mean, it would still be hectic, but if everyone was buying one, you know, just normally, and you know, even buying one for like, you know, a family member or a friend or something like that, that's fine. But for the people who buy them just to resell them at a higher profit, those people I have very low opinions of, and you know, they're pretty much, you know, dirt to me. People who do stuff like that, because you know, I mean, yeah, you know, it's a first come first served basis, and these are, we should be expecting these to be sort of a limited stock thing, but you know, the fact that you know, people are sort of taking advantage of the situation to make a profit off of it, for people, you know, who don't have the time or to actually, you know, slip in a pre-order or something like that, those people are just trash, if I may be frank here. But yeah, so put in a pre-order when you can. It's supposed to come out in September, I think the 29th. I'm definitely going to be putting a pre-order in this time around. I didn't do it the first time for the NES Classic, but this time definitely I'll be doing something like that. And now it's sort of raising a question if the N64 will be getting a Classic edition as well. Yeah, nice little small N64. The games will definitely be bigger. I mean, think about it, like, you know, the games have gotten bigger with each generation. I mean, look at say Super Mario. I mean, of course, you know, Super Mario 2 was that was, I guess, well, it would be a little bit bigger. But then Super Mario 3, that was definitely a bigger game than both of 1 and 2. And look at Super Mario World. That's, you know, pretty big game right there. And then going to Super Mario 64, that's a really big game. So, I mean, I don't think they'll have any problems putting like a lot of these games onto a small like board or whatever. But I definitely think that, you know, the price will be going up And then also, the fact is that, a with a controller itself, I mean, the size of this one, I mean, look at the box of this and then this. I mean, you'd have to get one of these, and then, that's considering if they decide to go and, if they sell these, like, maybe they'll probably, the way I see it going, with, if they do, N64 Classic, if they're smart, they will have 4 ports available, like with the original one. But they'll probably just like sell the controller separately. But it's hard to tell. I definitely like what they're doing though with the Super Nintendo Classic, having 2 separate ports for that. Being able to just go, hey, you don't have to go worry about getting another controller. We have both of them right there for you. Also, another thing, which is something I wanted to point out, I heard that the cables for the NES Super NES Classic will be 2 feet longer than the NES Classic version. So, that being said, if we do a quick estimation, this is look right. Oh yeah, that's one. So, this guy here is, what, say, maybe about 3 feet. So the NES Super Nintendo controller cable should be probably about 5 feet. Now, I went and bought a third-party controller. This is the Edge Gamepad version 2. The first one had issues with connecting to the NES Classic. This it's a pretty good controller. I like it. This is actually my initial sort of like one that I basically use normally. It's got your standard layouts, plus it has turbo features, and then also an A and B feature. So if you want to hit A and B at the same time, but don't want to feel like actually doing that, you can have the option to press it here, and then you have turbo settings. Boom, switch it for B and A. You're good to go, basically. And it's also longer, which is neat. Now, just by holding them side by side and carrying them, if this is say like 3 feet, if we gave it an extra 2 feet, I would say that it's probably going to be about, maybe about that long. This is a nice length, I think, if it is, because I think this one might be about, I think this is probably about 9 feet, this one here. So, if you just like shave off 4 feet or so, then you would have the SNES length. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, now after looking at the SNES Classic version, I now feel that I want to play Super Metroid, and which is sad because I'm just like been going through Metroid a lot lately. Like I said, Zero Mission, Prime 3, well I started doing Prime 3, Other M, now Prime 1, now I want to do Super Metroid. I also want to go back and get I want to get Fusion, because I had Fusion, I beat it, but I traded it in at GameStop, and ow, why did I do that now? I mean, I did that with Zero Mission as well, but I bought back Zero Mission, and the best part about buying it back was the fact that the person who had it before me, they had already done like all the Fusion stuff to it, so the gallery was there for Fusion already right there, and I can't remember if there's something else that also happens with Fusion that you can do with it, but it was already there and I didn't have to worry about doing anything else with that, which is something I would have needed to do, because that would mean I needed to rebuy a GameCube, Game Boy Advance cable, which I also traded in at GameStop, and I am very sad that I did that too, as well as other games that I've traded at GameStop, which, you know, I would still like to have now, which makes me sad. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to put out that news. And then I have another video that I might do today. I might not do today, but I just wanted to at least put this out there, my thoughts on it. And if I'm able to see if anything happens, you know, as far as you know, when it's actually pre-orders are open for the SNES Classic, I will make a short clip, short video, just like a quick, like, say, boom, here's it's available for pre-order. And that's if I can actually do it, because if I'm out in public, I can't do anything like that. But if I'm actually have to be here and I find out about it, I will post something up. But you know, pre-orders will most likely go like that. So that's why, you know, you might see something from me, you might not. It all depends on the timing when I find out about it. Because if I find out about it as I'm out and then I come back home, you know, pre-orders will probably already be gone. Because most likely, and I have a feeling this is going to happen because this has happened to me before, and it's been a big problem. It's like I'm at work and then I find about a pre-order for something going up, and then like I already know by the time I get home it's gonna be gone. Like it happened with Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition. It happened with Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia. No, yeah, Shadows of Valencia. That happened to me too. Xenoblade Chronicles X. That happened. Special Edition. Well, I already found out about it, but pre-orders weren't available for it yet. But Metroid Samus Returns Special Edition, I was really upset. But unfortunately, you know, they restocked that one. I think. Let me look at my other ones. No, I don't think any other ones have had problems with. But yeah, I feel like if I do that, this will happen while I'm at work, and it'll be like, hey, guess what? SNES Classic is up for pre-order, and I'll be at work, and I'll be just fuming. Wow. But yeah. So that's it, everyone. Have a good one. I am iamxeracon, signing off. Take care.